Jerry, I see you eating over there.
I am.
That-
See,
what
I
the hell
know
is
how
that
to
crap?
multitask.
Ah.
These are chili lime wings from a local pizza place, and they're delicious. And that's why I decided to drink tequila with it. I figure that is a natural pairing.
Tequila wings. Oh, you're gonna make Kevin salivate over there.
They're
Okay.
chili lime wings, so
All I can hear from Kevin is heavy breathing.
Oh my God, Kevin's front lit now. I could see his face and not just the Jesus.
That's what he
halo
looks like.
behind
Oh my
him.
God, Kevin has facial hair.
Sorry, I didn't mean that.
All right. I think we could. Episode 7. I don't even know anymore. Episode 7. I can't. This can't keep happening. This can't
Lucky
keep
number
going.
7.
So now I have to commend you on your what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know. You must be really proud of whatever it is I did. You can't
No.
think of the words to describe it.
Yeah, it's true. You are very you have great hopes for this podcast. I don't know why I can't think of the word, but
Start over.
I notice when you name the podcasts that the episode number has like 4 or 5 digits in them, as if we will ever get to that
I know.
high.
I did it sort of half as a joke, half as a maybe. Who
Maybe,
knows?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Old Men Yell at Podcast, episode 4289, part B. Something to work towards.
Still waiting on mattress number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Did you also notice I started editing seasons as well? Oh no, you can't see the metadata. I don't know. It's called metadata. Tags. I'm sorry.
No,
Each episode also comes with a tag where you have to label what season it is. So technically, we're in season 1, and we're still waiting to hear whether or not we'll be picked up for season 2.
Wouldn't you need a listener to get that kind of feedback?
I can hear it just fine. I enjoy listening to every episode at least once.
There you go. I get a good chuckle out of it too. So I figure, if I lived through it once and I find it amusing listening to it again, then someone out there probably enjoys listening to it once.
Well, keep in mind, I also have to listen and re-listen every time I edit it. So I get about, I would say, no, I am the number 1 listener of our podcast because I hear each episode, I don't even know how many times, over and over and over again. It haunts me in my dreams.
And we thank you for your service. So.
Yeah.
Okay,
So call this season 0, which is like the number of listeners, right? And then when we hit our first listener, that could be season 1.
I don't know that's how it works, but okay.
If anyone out there actually listens to this, just leave a note or tweet something to Cynical Skippy and or myself at Jerry Yells
or even Kevin, who sometimes puts a picture up on his Twitter account.
Kevin Yells.
Kevin Yells, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, and we have
Fisty McAnus.
Can you please change your Twitter handle to that now, please? Yeah, there's also an email. It's oldmenyelladpodcast@gmail.com.
Currently, there are only crickets in the inbox. So
Season of the crickets.
I'll have you know, I get spam. I am constantly notified of hot singles in my area.
Nice.
I don't know why none of them will respond to my emails. So you have tequila. Yeah. Well, okay. So Jerry, you're going bananas and some tequila over there. Kevin, what are you drinking?
I have my box of wine.
Oh, sweet. We're in the same category of shit this week. So I've decided to go back to my little crappy $2.89 bottle of fine. I don't think it even has a year on it. I don't think it has a year on it. Is it a year? It's made in California. And
it's just a month. Last month.
Right.
Aged 30 minutes.
Well, first bottle of wine ever with an expiration date on it, and it tells you what it's paired with on the back.
Peanut butter and jelly, Chef Boyardee,
grilled cheese.
No, just poorness.
Hamburger helper
and self-loathing mostly. Chef Boyardee. All right.
Wait, so Why are you classing it up by pouring it into an actual wine glass? Just drink it from the bottle. That's the way it's made.
I was thinking about just using a long twisty straw, but
What are the little ones that you get to
yeah,
watch?
yeah, yeah. This like lets me rational. It lets me keep track of how much I drank because actually the last episode I pulled a Jerry and I don't remember. I don't think it happened like during the episode itself, but like immediately once I stopped recording, the entire world just started spinning around me and I almost like just fell on the floor.
Yeah,
That brandy was. I didn't realize how much brandy I drank during that podcast. It was a lot. Just
you sent us a picture of like your face, like happy, laying in bed and blissfully drunk.
yeah, so that's how you know it's bad. I don't remember sending that photo. I remember just looking through our conversation and going, "What the fuck? Why am I sending sexy photos to Jerry and Kevin?" Well, I mean, I know why, but why don't I remember sending sexy photos? Who else did I send sexy photos to?
You were like drooling on the pillow as you took a picture.
Yeah. All right, so maybe sexy is the wrong word.
Yeah,
But
yes, that's accurate.
also, I want to issue a correction. Kevin, you asked me in the last episode if you can pair third-party controllers with Xboxes, and I said no. I should have clarified. I was saying you can't pair wireless third-party controllers with Xboxes. You can, however, use pretty much anything that you can plug into the Xbox because there are a ton of wired controllers you can buy. But wireless, you have to use official Microsoft ones. I hope you haven't lost any sleep on that topic.
So like Steam, which has the USB dongle, you couldn't use that because it's ultimately wireless.
If I have to explain to you what a wire means, this is going to drag on for 2 hours.
Well, no, not necessarily, because you said you have to plug it in. If he's plugging in the dongle, then maybe it will work.
Can I just be an asshole and just be allowed to live?
So
Well,
actually,
Kevin-
it turns out
Wait,
I did the research.
Are there times when you're trying not to be an asshole?
Mm. Just gonna sit here and drink my wine.
There is supposedly a way you can install some app or something that gets a Steam controller to connect. It's apparently it's not 100%, but it works.
So I was kind of curious. If you can't plug in a wired controller, what is stopping you from plugging in a Bluetooth dongle and then connecting to that? Right? Because it's the dongle that connects to the controller. I mean, you guys are the computer nerds. You
Isn't
tell
that
me.
what I just said?
Is
Is that your first bottle? Or is this? Are you going all out and spending like $6 on alcohol today?
I will say that's the one great thing. Well, there's many great things about cheap wine, but yes, the fact that I can get completely destroyed on about $3-4 is really can be advantageous at certain points.
Just count the number of bottles instead of glasses.
Well, I think the way my life is going, I might have to start counting boxes. But yeah, we'll see how that goes.
I have cheap tequila here. If it helps you feel any better.
Oh God, is that Jose Cuervo?
No. It's I don't know what is
Durango?
it. Durango. It's the finest quality though. It says it right on the bottle. So
Oh well, yeah. I think
That's a golden tequila too.
I think my wine says quality somewhere on here.
Usually I use this to make my Getaritas, but today I'm just going right from the bottle. So.
Huh. Yeah, there's
the clear tequila is a better sipping tequila, right? I think.
I think that's just preference, not necessarily.
This is one of the few bottles of wine I've ever drank that just takes no pride in their product. There's nothing like a smooth dry wine or bottled by the best blah 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 in California or
it gets you drunk.
Like yeah, basically.
It helps you forget your life.
Yeah.
For $2.85.
The label doesn't even wrap around the whole glass. They have to conserve on paper for cost, right?
Hey man, that means they're environmentally respectable or something.
So Skippy, is the Kevin entertainment value and investment number on that wine over 1?
So I wanted to bring that up actually. So I gave Kevin a bunch of shit for this in the last episode, but I've actually I spent one day, maybe even like 1 day and a half to like actually try to come up with a system to make this work. And I think the whole thing that Kevin came up with, assigning dollar per hour value to a product, is brilliant.
$1
per
hour.
Yes. Wait. What did I say?
No.
That's what Jerry said.
$1.
Okay, so all right, over my head. Anyway, so moving on. So $1. Wait, $1 per hour, right? Is that we said?
No.
Is that the number?
Yes, $1 an
Oh
hour.
yes, yeah, uh-huh.
It's your system.
Ha- He had me with the $1 thing.
So I want to work out like an actual like meter to it because I was thinking I'm like, well, this thing doesn't really work for everything because, for example, a movie will never measure up to a game because in a game you can get like, 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 hours out of it, where a movie you're only ever going to get an hour and a half, 2 hours out of it.
Yep.
But the flaw in that thinking is that you have to equate those things. You don't have to. You only have to equate them to each other. So, for example, when you put it Kevin Entertainment value number to a game, it can be like I don't know. I'm not even doing the math right now. It can be 10, while a movie can have a number of 1 but still be a good movie. It'll just be comparable to other. So, like we gave this movie a 1, we gave this movie a 3, we gave this movie a 4, but we gave this other game. But like a game can get a value of a 20. It doesn't matter. Those things don't have to equal each other because
Mm,
they're different forms of entertainment. So they don't have to go along the same scale.
I understand where you're going with that, but there's a flaw in your reasoning.
Oh, come
The
on,
way
man.
the
A
Kevin
day and a
scale
half.
works. No, 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 no. The way the Kevin scale works is it's purely about $1 an hour, so it's time. So if you watch an hour and a half movie, then that will never have a Kevin greater than watching like a 2.5 hour movie. So like Spider Verse, while better than Ant-Man, would never get a higher Kevin rating than like Ant-Man. Both
So
entertaining movies,
Yeah,
but Into the Spider-Verse was fucking amazing. Not
it,
that
it
you've seen
the
it yet.
right.
well,
The
So,
the
well, hold
Kevin
on.
scale applied to movies literally means the longer the movie is, the better.
yes.
Yeah, so I took that into account. Hold on.
Did
Wait,
you?
I had a thing for that. Hold on.
Go check your notes.
I'm totally not making this up as I go along. I promise. Hold on. Let me take a sip of my smart juice. Okay. All right. I got it. So it comes down to actual entertainment. Like, okay, so it's important to note the number of time spent enjoying said thing. Now, yeah, technically you could say, yeah, like if you watch Dune, Dune will probably, have the highest score. But, but that actually doesn't even really matter if you think about it, because technically, if you watch a 6 hour movie and you're like, wow, all 6 hours were amazing, you're still getting the value out of it. So it would make sense that it had a higher score than something like Into the Spider-Verse. You're not saying which one is better. You're saying which one brings more value entertainment into your life. Eh? Eh?
That it is the well, it's the Kevin, as you coined it, stands for Kevin entertainment value and
Right.
investment number. The entertainment value is the time spent, and the investment is the money, the $1 an hour. So I guess if you go to the movies and you watch Into the Spider Verse and you're like, wow, that was really good. I'm gonna watch it 3 more times when it comes out on Netflix. Its Kevin will be higher than some like Ant-Man that you went to the movies once and watched and you're like, that's great, but I never have to see it again.
I actually never even thought of factoring in repetitive viewings of it. That's actually a good point. I might have to adjust the formula. But yeah, I mean, we may have to tweak the name to make it more appropriate, but I still think it perfectly makes sense. You can say, all right, I've got 3 hours to burn and I need something that'll give me 3 hours worth of entertainment. Or you could be like, I have a couple hours to burn and I hate my life, so I'm going to watch Skyscraper. All right. And even though, it has a negative Kevin score value or whatever. So, it gives you a nice way to sort of approach things depending on how sad the world has made you that day.
But I think Jerry's onto something. The replayability, rewatchability of a movie definitely is closer to the game analogy. So a game, most games last more than 2 hours, of course, but some of them will, even though they might be a 20-hour game, they might have replayability. And then the movies, sometimes there's a cult classic and you want to watch it how many times, or like the example of movies you throw on in the ambient background, like in all our conversations about me throwing on a movie before bedtime. There's been a couple of movies where I must have watched it 30 times over the course of 2 months because of that. So those would equate to, if I spent the money to go to the theater, those would be high on the Kevin scale because I got a lot of entertainment value out of it for my $15 ticket.
Well, that's
So
fine.
you're saying that like Blockers has a Kevin of like 7?
Yes, exactly.
Ugh.
That movie is actually quite funny once you watch it 5 times, 10
Jerry,
times.
Jerry, it's not funny. It's really not funny.
No,
anyway,
I agree with Kevin that it is.
Oh, I see what you
Wink,
didn't do
wink,
there.
wink, wink.
Nice. But yeah, so either way, the formula and the name definitely needs some tweaking, but I do think it could actually make for a completely unique rating scale to the things that are talked about on the podcast.
I think the name is perfect. I think the name is amazing. And I have to give Skippy credit for coming up with that acronym.
I don't remember what it was. I was pretty drunk that day.
It was the Kevin Entertainment value and investment number. And like
Kevin.
I pissed myself when you said that. Like,
Yeah.
That was
Kevin
perfect.
for short.
Yeah, it was Kevin for short.
All right, great. I'm glad in that time people have found, cures for diseases, but we're doing something truly meaningful on this thing. I've abbreviated Kevin.
Actually, it's an
acronyms
acronym.
are about.
But
Yeah. So because since we're talking about entertainment values, since we don't have a system yet, I can't really assign it. Skyscraper has been dethroned as the worst movie I have seen in the last year.
well, in that case, it should
new
be like a fist.
A fist rating.
like 4 fists out of.
How many fists
It's
up?
fresh in my mind because I just
Oh my
listened
God.
to last episode and like, Kevin with all the fisting.
Yeah, I can't. There's no F in Kevin, so I can't come up with the acronym that says like, like amount of fists entering Kevin's rear. Like I don't know what. I need to come up with something else. But yeah, if you ever really just again are hating life, I highly recommend you watch the last Jurassic Park movie.
Oh, I saw that the other day.
Oh yeah.
God, fuck me. Please tell me you didn't like that movie. Please, for love, with the little shred of respect I have left for you, please tell me.
No. The only reason why I went to
the
it
same,
was
it was the
because of
same
kids.
shit as the other ones.
So I would definitely say that all the rest of them are truly shit, but I kind of feel like they took it up almost a notch in this one. It was so just every moment of that movie, and then the ending, and then just oh my God. It's one of those things I kind of regret that I didn't get drunk and do like a scene by scene thing that I usually do.
Enjoyed that.
Yeah, because I actually just alone at home, I kept pausing it and screaming at the screen because.
Were you just like huddled in the corner alone in the dark, like shivering?
No, it was more of an anger rant kind of thing.
So I took the kids to it in the movie, to go see it in the movies because they wanted to. So
why do you hate your kids?
So the Kevin right there is like super low because I'm paying for myself and 2 kids. And honestly, the only thing that I could remember, you're talking about it, the only thing that I could remember about it is the one scene where they're in the ball and they go off the cliff. And that's probably because that was one of the scenes that was in the preview.
Right.
So there's nothing redeeming that my brain said, oh, this was cool. I'm going to file this away so I could check it out again later in my life. I remember nothing about that movie.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can't. I think you both probably saw it so long ago. If I start referencing specific scenes, you won't even recall. But just
I saw it like last week.
Every minute of it, even the terrible ending where the girl. Where they try to, when you find out, what the fuck was the point of the girl being cloned? Why the hell did they tell you Jeff Goldblum was in it when he's in it for 30 seconds? They literally
advertised. The girl was cloned?
Did you? I don't.
Oh, that's right. That's right. The little girl, the daughter or something, right?
That's why
see, it told you. I remember nothing about
that. That was why she unleashed death and destruction on the entire human race at the very end of the movie because.
She felt akin to all the dinosaurs.
Yeah, with the worst line ever. By the way, I can't believe they find a child actor that I don't. It's something like she turns to the camera in one of the I don't know. I'm guessing the other takes were even worse because this girl is an absolutely horrific actor. She turns to the camera and just something like when she presses the button and lets them out, and everybody looks at her, she just kind of like turns to them and says, "I had to. They're alive, just like I am."
Yes. That was
Wow.
horrible.
So so they've just unleashed these murderous creatures that are going to eat other like women, men, and children. And because she's so like I'm alive, so everyone else can go
You
fuck
can
off.
die.
Like yeah, like, this she literally like the last like half an hour of the movie is her like witnessing the horror of these things. Like as this
Yep.
as this monster like chases her around a building, crawls on the roof, breaks into her bedroom through a window somehow. I don't even understand how. Like almost
No, he
murders.
doesn't break in. It's so smart.
Yeah, it
It
opens
like
the
it
yeah.
opens it with the latch with one
Right.
tiny claw or a large claw.
Right. And then like sneaks to the bedroom and like almost kills it. And she's like, you know what's a good idea? Let's like 100 of those just running amok.
Let's let death and destruction out on the world.
Yeah, it took all this. Also, did anybody think it was funny that they created a dinosaur that you control? So they said, okay, the way you get this dinosaur to kill something is you point
Mhm.
this laser gun thing at like its target, and and then you press a button, and then it
So
tells
it's
the
gonna eat a lot
dinosaur
of
to attack.
cats.
No, but here's the thing I don't understand. It's a gun that you point at its target and you squeeze the button or a trigger, and then the dinosaur goes and kills it. Why do you need the extra step of the dinosaur killing your target? You're already pointing a gun at it and you're squeezing the trigger.
Right.
What
It's
value?
it's
What is
like
the entertainment value on that dinosaur?
yeah. It's like one of those
The dumbest thing I've ever seen.
those targeting lasers that like paint a target for like a missile.
Yeah, those drop bombs that kill
Yeah,
many people at the
exactly.
same time.
Right. That's like a facility killer, not a stupid, dinosaur kill a bunch of, personnel.
That was the least.
Now I have an
thought-
image
Yeah.
of like a T-Rex being dropped, like pushed out of the back of an airplane from like 50,000 feet, falling to the ground, and like landing on a guy.
There's actually a really funny comic. There was a news article last week that said that I think it's in Canada. They're airdropping wolves into some park to control the moose population. So it's basically like this comic of like a wolf like just parachuting. Like a moose is like watching this wolf slowly parachute into the woods. Like what the fuck?
But you know what? They need like the T-shirt guns, but with wolves, like
Yeah.
shooting wolves into the park.
You,
Yeah.
you know what else is funny throughout all, not just this movie, but several of them? The T-Rex is like the friendly hero. Like
Yeah.
you're supposed to have an empathy reaction to the T-Rex because it's the thing that stops the danger of the main characters.
Well, not in
Many
this. Well, in this
times.
one. Well, in this one, it's blue. It's the Velociraptor. But yeah, the T-Rex also makes a couple of
T-Rex.
things.
Yeah.
They need some new shit. They really need to come up with some things. Yeah, every other scene, even in this movie, yeah, you're right, ends with them being cornered by something, and then the T-Rex bursts through a wall and eats whatever is attacking them, and then stands
Just
up.
happens to be right there.
Yeah, then it stands up majestically, roars, and then looks at them and does not eat them and goes
Right.
about its business.
But it
Like-
doesn't even eat whatever it attacked. It like just chomps on it, throws it away or something.
Yeah,
and then
then
it roars and says, "I'm the king. Now run."
Yeah, it gets that weird like shit. Did I leave the oven on? And then runs off.
Exactly.
Like,
the T-Rex even says Deus ex machina and runs off.
yeah, it's bad. It's a terrible movie. Again, there's also that scene at the end again where Jerry, I don't know if you remember or you do, Kevin, where they're on top of the greenhouse and they're about to get attacked by the Endoraptor, whatever it's called, and then the woman who just a couple of scenes ago apparently like had a huge gash in her leg and couldn't even move somehow managed to climb on the roof holding this gigantic gun up with her, and then and she has that laser pointer gun that directs the dinosaur, and then instead of pointing it off into the woods or another roof or literally anywhere in the world, she points it at Owen, at the other character, so that the Endoraptor charges at him and hopefully falls through the glass or whatever the hell the point. Why didn't she just point the dinosaur away instead of pointing it at the child and the other guy?
Yeah.
What sort of stupid plan was this?
She my take on that, which I agree is 100% ridiculous. She pointed it at him because he would lead it away so the kid would survive. And
But
like
he was
somehow they
but he was standing right next to the kid. She
Right,
But
pointed.
the tree in the woods
but he
would
moved
have led
away.
it away.
Yeah, yeah, he moved. Yeah, exactly. He moved out of the way, which means probably the laser actually focused right square on the girl. But it doesn't even matter.
It was
Nothing in this.
such a I looked that was definitely like the movie broke. I looked up and went, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, again, it was one of those things where, and then Blue jumps in and knocks it down, and it lands conveniently on the horns of the Triceratops skull thing below it,
Right.
and it's just like, yep, that went just the way we planned it.
Yeah.
Stand
Yeah, that
triumphantly
thing
over
wasn't
this.
fragile and sitting there by a couple of chains. Nope, it was rock sturdy, anchored into the ground with like steel strength bones in it.
Right. And again, yeah, you're right. Why did that thing? It okay, when it's chasing the girl, it's like bouncing off walls, breaking everything left and right. But then when it tries to get into her room, it like gently opens up this tiny little latch on her window and like crawls in through like quietly through the window. Why didn't it like break through the glass and like rip her to shreds instantly?
Yeah, that was a full like 20-second, like alien scene where it's like breathing like crazy and just
Yeah.
like looking at like it can't tell that she's under the blanket. And of course
Yeah.
I'm saying to myself, you're an idiot, stupid girl. Like what are
Yeah.
you doing in the bed? That's going to save you.
Not only
Yeah.
that, but to like a dinosaur, she's probably like a fucking chicken McNugget, like chomp, chomp, chomp. Oh, that
Next.
did nothing. I need to eat more people. You know what? Talking about this movie, I need to drink more.
Yes, please do. Speaking of chicken McNuggets, by the way, the other scene that was, well, there's a lot of incredibly idiotic scenes, but the thing where I'm sorry, what did I say the name of the main? Owen, that was the name of the main character, I think. When he's tranked and the lava is coming to him and he's sort of like starting to come out of
Flopping
the trank
around.
state and he's flopping over. Did you notice he starts doing that when the lava is about a foot from his face? Do you know how hot lava is?
Yeah.
It would have
If you get
burned
within
his
a
face
foot of
off.
lava, you are long fried. Yeah, lava is not hot to the touch. It puts up a lot of fucking heat.
Yes.
I just watched a movie with a lot of fire, and it's the inconsistency. I don't think people that make movies understand how fire works or how like it gives off heat and other things
Yeah.
over
It's
like a distance.
like an
you know-
oven has,
yeah.
glowing red elements that heat and cook, steak and shit. So
Yeah,
here's lava with heated red elements, within inches of your face.
Yeah, and he's just like fine. He's not even breaking a sweat, by the way. He's just like, whew, oh man.
There was something else similar to that I saw, like with space. Shit! It was one of the episodes in Love, Death, and Robots, which was a good episode, but in it, like the main character takes her, she like applies a tourniquet, takes her she's out in space.
Oh, that was a great episode. I
Yeah,
love that. Yeah.
and it was kind of
Wait,
cool
wait. Stop. Kevin, did you watch these yet?
I watched the first like 5, I think. I'm on
Okay.
the vampire one.
Well, this one's
that-
gonna get
It's
spoiled.
okay, go for it.
But
no,
like,
but that's one of the best ones though.
no. I'm sorry, I have to talk
Don't worry
about
about
it.
it. Go.
Kevin, if you don't want to hear it, take your headphones off and we'll like wave when we're done. But so like I have to give kudos to the episode for their understanding of physics in the sense of this woman's out in space and she's like, "Oh my god, I'm drifting away from my spacecraft." So the only thing that I have to throw something away from me, like every force, like if I throw this object this way, I'm going to go that way.
Right.
Good job with physics. What they didn't understand was if she took her, so she applies a tourniquet to her arm and outside of her spacesuit, takes the glove off of her spacesuit, exposing her arm. Now, and it like kind of within a matter of seconds freezes over as if she put it in liquid nitrogen. The only problem with that was for her arm to freeze like that, it would take days out in space.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because there's nothing really for that heat to radiate to. If anything, because the sun was hitting her, she would have burned because the sun would be that was she would have to be in complete darkness for that to even like remotely start to happen. The only way for that to happen is like pure like radiation. There's nothing in space. Well, maybe because she's kind of still in a little bit of atmosphere, it would happen in less than a day, but it wouldn't be immediate. Definitely not. In Guardians of the Galaxy, where what's his face, Star-Lord, like
Yeah.
puts his little mask on and flies out into like the vacuum of space, fine, and goes to his ship, he could totally do that.
Well, yeah, the thing that would have happened is, exposed bare flesh, they would have lost all their air and they would have deflated more than they would have lost heat right away.
Right. And like maybe she would have been exposed to more radiation. She would have gotten cancer in a few years, possibly. But it wouldn't have frozen.
I have another question about that, since you guys seem to know what the hell you're talking about. So I didn't know that. Thanks for ruining that episode for me. I thought it was great.
Welcome.
Thanks for bringing science and facts into this. This is America. We don't need your shit. Why couldn't she puncture her suit and use the air inside to propel herself?
She would have totally been able to do that.
Oh, I was just because I
Like
feel
The Martian.
yeah, I was gonna say I feel like I've seen that in another movie or a show. Yeah, like that was my first reaction when she runs out of the thing. I was like, oh, but she can just puncture something and move herself. But then I remember people telling me that, well, The Martian really fucked that scene up as well. So maybe that not scientifically accurate either.
The biggest scene that was scientifically inaccurate in The Martian was the very cause of everything. That the whole storm would have never caused that damage because the atmosphere on Mars is so thin, it just doesn't have that kind of force. Like a horrible, horrible sandstorm on Mars would be like a windy day here. The atmosphere is like I don't know the actual number, but it might be like a quarter or a tenth of the volume of our atmosphere. So if you're getting hit with a 50 or 100, like a 200 mile an hour wind on Mars might be like a 20 or a 50 mile an hour wind on Earth.
Interesting. All right. Well, oh man. See, I remember a couple episodes ago, or a few episodes ago, we were talking about breaking the news to your kids about that, Santa not being real.
Wait, what?
A few episodes ago, we discussed about telling kids. No. Dude, I'm drinking. Don't try to pull it. Anyway, what I was gonna say is that, like, man, I would hate to be your kids. Like, you guys like break these like facts in pretty strong. Like, I can imagine telling like your kid why Santa can't be real. Like, well, honey, you see, sure, it'd work on the first few houses, but by the time a fat pedophile broke into someone else's house in the middle of the night, he'd probably get shot. So that's why Santa can't possibly be real.
Well, have you seen the equations where they try to figure out exactly how fast Santa would have to go and the friction of the atmosphere against him and how he just like explode into a fireball?
Yeah, and somebody actually, some scientist brought quantum physics into it and said, technically speaking, you could do this whole like quantum reality thing where like Santa actually could exist in multiple places at the same time. So technically he could exist in everyone's house at the same time.
It is true, but which is entirely true. But the odds of that happening are like so incredibly finite, which is like what they say about space being infinite, and like somewhere there's probably a Skippy just like you, or maybe some extent of it, but it's
one's like Skippy.
I hope he's drinking better wine.
Yeah, but like if space is infinite, just because of that, the sheer probability of like atoms ending up in the same configuration as you, it's bound to happen somewhere. Like if you have this infinite amount of quantum. I've tried to understand quantum physics, and it's kind of like if you want to get the same experience, just drink like 3 of those bottles, and then you'll probably have the same feeling about.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I totally end up having an experience after a bottle of this.
If anyone says that they study quantum physics, I'm like, oh, you're a drug addict. Like you've got to be stoned 100% of the time to even like decide to like anything like with theoretical physics. So,
yeah. So did you finish the entire Love, Death, and Robots thing?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So what did you think in general?
I thought it was pretty good. Some of the episodes were really good. I think I can't remember exact. Oh, I think the first one was the best.
Sunny's
one-
Edge?
Oh,
I
I
don't-
love that one.
The
one
one
with-
with the woman who was controlling like the
Yes.
monster. Yes,
Yes, that one was awesome.
that
I
was
love that one.
amazing. I think the second one was like meh. The
Oh,
one
I love the
where
second one. That's the one with the
the woman who witnesses the murder.
No, that's the third
That's
one.
not the
This-
second. Yeah.
Okay, then the third
Oh,
one.
well, okay. So
that was kind of
Netflix-
cool.
No, Netflix
It was
apparently
kind
messed
of,
with
but yeah.
Netflix messed with the order of them. Apparently, different people got different, so the episodes in a different order. So
I
we might not be.
must be remembering
Yes.
it wrong.
For me, the first one was Sunny's Edge, which I absolutely loved. The second one, why am I blanking? I know the thing with the
Dominatrix.
yeah, the dominatrix sex worker thing that witnesses a murder. That one was the third one. I'm trying to remember oh
Yeah,
my
it
god,
could've
what,
been.
what the
The
hell
fourth
was-
one was, I think, with the one with the three robots,
Yeah, on the
like
farm.
walking around.
Yep.
See,
No.
for me that was the second one. Thank you. That was actually my
Oh,
favorite
maybe
one.
it was.
The three robots ones with the cat. That was my favorite one.
That was hilarious. That
That-
was like an easy
Oh,
number
yeah,
two.
that was the second one.
For me, that was the second one. The third one was the sex worker
Mhm.
who witnesses the murder. I love that one as well. The fourth one was the vampire one, which I thought was. I didn't like.
I like
the
that one.
No, my fourth one was the farm workers.
For me, that was the fifth one. The Farm Workers was also okay. It was cool. It was like visually neat, and like there's that little twist in the end was okay. And then there was a couple of like weaker ones crammed there in the middle. So for me the sixth one was the yogurt one, which I liked, but was okay, whatever.
That was cute.
Yeah, that was cute. Then there was that one, something like Aquila's Edge or something. No, not Aquila's.
Beyond the Aquila Rift. I like
That's
that
it.
one.
Yeah, that one was kind of gave me nightmares. I didn't think it was that great, but it was really dark. Like when it flashes and he sees where what's like. Oh, I don't want to
What's
spoil it.
actually what's
What's
really
actually going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fucking terrifying. It was virtual. Then there was the lucky one with the lucky ship. That one I thought was eh. I didn't think that was that great.
The Lucky Ship.
That's not what it was called. It was
Oh
named-
yeah, number 13. Yeah.
number 13. I thought that one was eh. It's also very reminiscent of a lot of sci-fi stories that I've read. It's just like a different take on that same thing that's been done to death. Again, it's nicely done. I think the ones that were trying to be way too, where the animation was almost like realistic, were the less interesting ones. The stylized ones I thought were better. Having said that, like,
but I dig one of the ones that you said like was more realistic was the werewolf one, and I kind of like that. I dig that.
That
one.
that was my least
Really?
favorite one.
I thought that was kind of cool. That was a new take on it, and
I thought
I
the
enjoyed
setup-
that.
I thought the setup was great, and I thought it was going somewhere else entirely. And then when it ended, I was like, oh, that's it? Like he just went out and killed those two, and then, all right.
No, the ending wasn't fabulous, but I thought like
I thought it was a really
kinda
strong
cool. It
setup,
was like,
and they,
the way they were using them. I kind of enjoy like little touches, like when they were changing and he was like pulling off the skin. Like, I thought that was kind of interesting. I thought that was kind of cool. Like towards the end where I was like, oh, I realize now you wouldn't have any tattoos and you wouldn't have any scars after the fact. But I thought it was a different take.
I thought it was a very strong setup and good premise. By the way, it's also been it's kind of been done before too. But yeah, I thought it was an interesting idea that I didn't think they did much with. Like I thought the fact that they were werewolves was going to be they were going to work into more like cool supernatural stuff or do something else. But at the end, they're just like, oh, the other side has werewolves too, and I killed their werewolves.
Right.
Go team werewolf A. There's also the thing that you spoke about, the transformation. I did like the way they did that. There was a show on. I want to say it. I don't think it was. It was definitely on Netflix at some point, but I don't think it was an original. No. I'm sorry. It was a Netflix show. A few years ago, there was an original Netflix show about werewolves that I don't remember the name of, but I can look it up. It ran for a few seasons, and the best thing about it was the way they did the transformation. I'll give you the name of the show. Watch it just for the way they turn from human to werewolf. It is so fucking gruesome. Like,
oh, wow.
It's like that the episode, you know, multiplied by like 1,000. They're just like literally ripping skin, blood, like their own like hair and eyes out, like as they transform. It's
Oh, that's
incredibly
cool.
gory. Yeah, you see like bones ripping through skin. It's incredibly gory, but it's also really amazing.
Nice.
Oh, and I think when they were done, they would like eat their own flesh or something. It was pretty fucked up.
Well, you don't want to. Those are calories that you're losing. You want to maintain your weight. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I know, but like I feel weird like biting my nails, man. I can't imagine like like just eating my own, you know, ankles.
Cannibalistic.
So yeah, or God, like my own balls. No, that's not cool.
Like, what happens if you're like, wow, I'm really tasty, and if you're hungry, you're just gonna start gnawing on your arm or something?
Yeah, I mean, maybe that is a solution to a lot of my problems.
If you just regenerate it, I mean,
Yeah, all right. So I mean, I would love to keep talking about, but we're gonna wind up like ruining all of them for Kevin. I just have one question. I'm curious about, was your last one the Secret War?
Yeah.
Okay, that was the last one for me. I really liked that one. I thought the whole thing ended really strong, but yeah.
I thought it was cool. A lot of them were really different. Some of them just made you go, huh? Like the Zima one, the Zima Blue. That to me was it wasn't great, but it was like kind of like, huh.
Yeah, you're right.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it definitely.
Some of them are just entertaining. The one with the freezer, that was just like, oh, that was cute.
I was shocked that was the Tim Miller one. So that was the one that Tim Miller, the guy who directed the first Deadpool, that was his. I was a little surprised that his was one of the weaker ones. I expected a lot more from
It's just someone being like, oh, this is an idea that I have. It's kind of cute. It was a 10-minute animation.
Yeah,
and
but all
he put it out there. No,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, like I said, it wasn't anything great. It was like, oh, that was cute. That was like, how many times have we thought like, there's this little civilization in our freezer, or something like that.
All I could think about while watching that episode was how much better Futurama did it. That's it. That's all I'm going to say about
it. I don't remember that.
There's a brilliant Futurama episode that pretty much takes on the exact thing and does it in a much more clever way. But anyway, that's enough because we're losing Kevin over there. Who, by the way, we gave you a pass on What We Do in the Shadows because you said you were going to watch Love, Death, and Robots. What happened there?
Yeah, wow.
I started.
Wait, now, didn't I go on a whole rant last episode about Kevin being this huge disappointment? And he just keeps proving us right.
And to think, Kevin, I defended you.
Now, these are 10 and 15 minutes. Wait, I'm going to go down the list and tell you how long each episode is.
So that's
16 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes.
3 hours.
Even if you were falling asleep to these, like you'd be able to watch 3 of them a night while still conscious.
Like
you have
sit on the
no
toilet
excuse.
and watch an episode.
You could take a shit. Yes, you could take a shit. You could clear an episode full while squeezing out a full shit. Well, maybe not you. You're probably a little bit looser with all the fists, and everything, but going up there. So like
it just falls out of him to see what.
Exactly. Sorry, that has to live for another 3 or 4 episodes. We love you, Kevin.
Ain't no leakage, huh?
Yes, but
well, they have potato chips for that.
But yeah, you have no excuse. So
unless it's work, family, or other adult responsibilities. But besides from those, you've got absolutely zero excuse.
You have to watch the movie What We Do in the Shadows because the TV series comes out Wednesday, the 27th, is it?
I think the 27th is when it comes out. Yeah. I have very high hopes.
Rewatch the first episode, the movie too, just for my own sake, but I have to do that.
Yeah. Also, I think I was gonna wait. I'm sorry. What, Jerry? We lost you there.
What's the series coming out on?
On FX.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but we mentioned last time that we were actually so forget new shows. We kind of brought up the topic of old sitcoms, which I've been rewatching, and some of them have been rewatching by myself, some of them rewatching with my wife, and it's really interesting to rewatch old shows, especially ones from like 20, 30 years ago, just to see kind of how they held up or have not over time. And so, like, one in particular that I brought up was Cheers, and it's easy to see now why that show was so kind of popular at its time, because honestly, if you watch it now, it's still a really enjoyable sitcom, but it opens up a whole window into what like was acceptable and what was popular and what was like, I guess, what the hot topics of the day were. Is weird, sort of like a window into the past kind of thing. Like some of the stuff like you could totally not get away with anymore, like, today. Some things, thank God, we've sort of progressed and moved forward on, but my God, like that show is definitely still like it still holds up. Like it's still, you can tell that it's a sitcom from a couple of decades ago, but it sort of retains its, I want to say, kind of like human nature. Like the characters are relatable. You can totally believe, like, those people existed years ago, but you can believe that they existed years ago. It doesn't
Right.
seem like unrealistic. I mean, obviously it's all scripted, whatever, but like you look back on it and go, oh my God, I used to talk like that. Oh God, I used to dress like that. Oh God, I used to think like that. Jesus Christ. And I don't know about like you guys, but like you rewatch an old show like that, I think one of the reasons it actually did sort of resonate with a lot of people is my memory from when I was younger, when I watched Cheers originally, and versus watching it now, is back then I just thought it was like a silly sitcom that had some jokes. You watch it again, man, that show is actually kind of gets pretty dark and depressing at certain points. Like those were some really sad people back then. As some of the people that like frequented that bar. Like you start thinking about their lives, like Norm and Cliff and stuff. Dude, they were like just battling depression in that sitcom. Holy crap. And Sam was like this aging, like sex obsessed fucking like loser with no direction in his life. And oh man, like it's really, really
So
kind of
people
weird
that
to see
we
in a
could
whole new light.
relate to, you're saying?
Yeah, it's like looking into a mirror.
No,
But
it's funny because I've been rewatching Charles in Charge, and
oh,
no, yeah, it's funny because I haven't gone back and rewatched that. I think if I was going to rewatch anything, it would be Greatest American Hero, because
I have a
look
sound
at
clip.
what's
I think we have a
happening
sound
to
clip for that.
me. I can't believe
Uh,
it myself.
Don't
it's
say
not the
it.
same.
Suddenly I'm. Oh,
It's not the
really?
same if it's slurred. If it's not slurred, I mean, you're
Sorry.
way too sober this time around.
I guess so. More tequila. No, there's the problem, and I'd love to go back and watch some. Oh, my dog is looking at me weird, like, what's going on with you, man? I'd
Wait,
love to watch.
your dog has never seen you drunk and singing before? I don't believe that for a second.
No, he just gets worried when I do.
Oh, okay. Oh my God, are they still doing this fucking stupid show? Good Lord. I
No,
mean, woof woof.
like with the thing we were talking about this over that signal thread that when we were talking about the network throttling on cellular networks, like where you'd have to watch like 66 movies a day or something on Netflix to hit this whatever cap it was.
Right.
The thing is that nowadays there's so much shit on Netflix and so much shit on all these streaming networks. Like I still have to watch season 2, and because I have to watch season 2, I want to watch season 1 of the zombie chick, Drew Barrymore.
Santa Clarita Diet.
Santa Clara, yes, and like
Yeah, dude,
I
season 3 is
haven't.
about to start, so you better
Oh,
catch up.
there you go. I haven't finished watching probably the last 2 or 3 seasons now of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is a show that I really enjoyed, and I'd like to keep watching it.
It
Um,
goes downhill at season 4. Season
uh,
4 starts out amazing and goes really quickly downhill. That's
uh,
just one man's opinion. Sorry, go ahead.
but and by the way, I don't know how you like Captain Marvel, Kevin, but it was a good movie. But I have to say,
I enjoyed it.
the de-aging of Nick Fury and Coulson,
Yeah.
with Sam Jackson and why can't I remember his name? He's got like 2 first names, but anyway, the guy who plays Coulson was fucking spectacular. It was great.
The Coulson you could just make out barely, but it didn't like break the scene.
Yeah.
But Samuel Jackson was amazing. Like I was like watching him in all his natural person.
Yeah, he was 30 years younger. It was
Yep.
amazing.
I'd just like to point out that 3 minutes ago we were talking about Cheers. How the hell did we get to de-aging Samuel L. Jackson? And can we find a way to actually de-age Samuel L. Jackson? He needs to live forever. This
Yeah.
Can you apply this science thing you told me about earlier to keeping him alive forever? Him and Morgan Freeman, please.
Yeah. I really feel that after watching that, we're kind of at the point where you just need anyone to stand in, like fucking.
You're saying they're gonna do that shit like in what they did with Morph Tarkin or whatever in Rogue One, where they basically took an actor that's been dead for 20 years and digitally put him into things. That's terrible. That can't be the future.
Who's the guy that does all of the fucking motion capture stuff? He played Gollum. He was in
Andy Serkis.
I know, Andy Serkis.
By the way, when I remember a name and you can't, that's really bad.
Yes. No, Andy Serkis. I'm having just a general brain fart day. I can't remember stuff that I should. Andy Serkis will be able to play everyone from now on. I really feel like I'm sure they could do voice, modulation technology, and like with the de-aging and all of that. That was pretty impressive.
You can't have Andy Serkis play Samuel L. Jackson. That's blackface, and that's racist.
Oh, that's true. Speaking, have you ever seen the Con Man episodes? Alan Tudyk and Nathan Fillion did their
No, I backed that show on was it Indiegogo or Kickstarter? I forget. And I haven't seen a single episode of it.
Oh, it was funny. I saw the first season. I still have to watch the second season. But one of the characters in it is like, he's effectively Andy Serkis. He's like a motion capture expert.
Oh.
And he hates Andy Serkis because Andy Serkis gets all the big jobs and everything. But he's fucking hilarious. So you have to watch it. Watch Con Man. It's great. And it's totally Alan Tudyk and Nathan Fillion poking fun at themselves.
Yeah, that's why I basically funded it, because they're like, all right, we're gonna have Nathan Fillion. I'm like, okay, you can stop. Here, money. Here, just take money. And they're like, no, but wait, there's gonna be. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Just here, money. Just do Nathan Fillion, whatever. I don't care.
I will warn you, one of the characters in it is Felicia Day.
Yeah.
And I know how you feel about Felicia Day.
There's something really weird going on with. I don't know how she keeps getting put into things. No, usually nobody likes her. Nobody enjoys seeing her or hearing her or just her existing. I don't understand why she's in so many things that I like.
I don't know. I enjoyed The Guild. I loved The Guild.
Oh God, I don't know how.
And like I could Dr. Horrible.
That's Horrible, great movie.
That was amazing.
But think of how much better it would have been without her. I tried watching. I mean,
she's a redhead. She has that going for her.
Yeah, she somehow ruined that. Like, how do you ruin being a redhead? That's not even possible. No, she's the worst. No. And I think The Guild might have been enjoyable if she was not in it. And again, like I tried, but the second she comes on screen, no, I can't. I can't. After 5 seconds, I can't listen to her voice or look at her. I can't. I mean, you know how much I love Hello from the Magic Tavern. And the one episode she's on, I barely got through.
That was kind of a bad episode.
She's not funny. She's not interesting. There's nothing appealing about her. Sorry, I don't know why I'm so angry.
You want to hate fuck her, don't you?
No, I really don't. No, I really don't. I'm not condoning this. This was really mean. I was at some Comic-Con, and this was like years ago. No, it was the one that Penny Arcade does. I forget. They have these video game conventions that they do. A couple of, I can't believe I'm blanking on the name, but anyway. But of course I remember Andy Serkis. Anyway, so she was like a speaker at some panel, and I just remember like some guy like walking out of her panel and going. Oh fuck! Now I don't remember. Great, all this build up to a joke I completely forgot. Anyway, the point is she sucks. that's the punchline.
No, she was a bitch about it. I remember you telling me the story. She was a bitch about it, and you were like, "Oh fuck you."
Oh
And
yeah,
I
no,
understand how that.
that's the thing. She's completely cocky and arrogant about herself. She kind of tries to play it off like, oh, I'm this cool like tomboy nerdy chick or whatever. She's not. She's completely full of herself, and she thinks people should worship the ground she walks on.
Yeah, I can understand how that could totally ruin everything. Many years ago, my brother was on Saturday Night Live. He had a little part on Saturday Night Live,
Wait, what?
and we were there. This was when Billy Crystal and Rich Hall were on there, and they were the nicest fucking people. Like Billy Crystal was cool and was joking around with us, and like Rich Hall, he like gave me autographed. He this was when he was doing those Sniglets books, like funny words or something. It was
Oh yeah.
basically a book with like funny cartoons and words where like you take two things and like you shit and you farted, you sharted, that kind of stuff, and they were called Sniglets or whatnot. But he like gave me an autograph book
Comedy.
of this. Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. But and I remember like, oh, who was it? Randy Quaid. Fucking, and I was like 12 years old at the time. I asked Randy Quaid for an autograph, and he was like, "Dear Jerry, choke my chicken, Randy." And I was like,
Oh
"What
my
does
God.
choke my chicken mean?" And like,
Did you say you were 13 at the time?
like 12 or no, or maybe even younger. I don't know.
And
But
Quaid told you to choke his chicken? Dude,
yes.
that's a lawsuit. What the
Well,
hell?
again, like this was back in the days when Cheers was around.
Oh my
But
God, oh my God, he never landed you. What the fuck? It's not cool, man.
so, but and like I think Howard Cosell was on there, and I was like, "Can I have your autograph?" And he was like, "Well, what do you say? Do you say please?" And he was just a dick about it. I was like, "Oh, never mind. Fuck you. I don't want your autograph." But like, and that's kind of like a minor example, I guess, from the eyes of a 12 or 13-year-old. But
Wait,
yeah, he was a dick.
can we backtrack to this a little bit? Where did Randy Quaid touch you?
He didn't touch me. Okay, we were at, what was it, Tavern on the Green, that place it's like a bar, and we were there, and like it was like an after cast party. I don't know why we were there, but Randy
Okay,
Quaid was
hold
there.
on. I'm gonna hold
Carrie
up this
Fisher
doll.
was there.
Hold on. I'm gonna hold up this puppet, and I'm gonna point to various. I'm gonna hold up a doll. I'm gonna point to various parts of the doll, and you tell me where Randy Quaid touched you. Is it here? I'm just gonna
No,
point
it's
to one
not
spot.
there. Randy Quaid did touch me
Oh
there.
my God, Randy Quaid
No.
touched you there.
No.
Oh no, this is so awkward.
No. Yeah, like I met him. I met Carrie Fisher and everything. It was cool, but
Whoa, you met Carrie Fisher?
yes, I did. I met Carrie Fisher.
See, now if she touched you, that would have been okay.
Yeah, she touched me there. But yeah, no, like the moral of the story is when people are just dicks and full of themselves, you're like, well, you're a dick. Fuck you. I don't care about you anymore.
Really, I was hoping the moral of the story was that grown men should not touch 12-year-old boys. But okay, I guess we got a different moral out of that story.
No, that's okay.
Okay. All
If
right, so
they're
Kevin,
famous, sure.
hey Kevin, so you've been kind of quiet this whole episode.
Well, there was all
He's saying
the
he has
episodes
to
I
go,
didn't see.
he has to eat. So we could just talk about him for the next hour because we've only been recording for like an hour and a half. So I think we have to go for another hour and a half before the episode's done.
Well, yeah, I don't think we're gonna, since this is gonna be a shorter episode, I don't think we need to take a break. I'm just gonna push through this one.
Wait,
Right?
what? I'm scared now.
Well, I mean, unless you guys want to take a break.
Well,
Whoa.
I'm taking a break.
Okay, so Kevin's taking a break. Why don't we all take a break then? Fine.
Can Kevin come back after dinner, or is it just going to be Skippy and I talking about Kevin? Oh.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll see what happens. But yeah, let's take a break here. I want to see if I can drink another 10 cents of wine in the meantime, and then we'll revisit this whole thing. All right, go get another bottle of tequila. All right, so we're back from the break, and there's now less of us. Although, to be completely honest, if I never said that Kevin was part of this episode, you'd never know. He was rather quiet and reserved. He had a certain sadness.
No, I don't think it was sadness. I think it was a little bit of apprehension, excitement, and everything. He told me that he found someone on Craigslist with elephantitis of the hand, And so he,
Oh,
scheduled like a little fisting episode there. He wasn't sure if he was going to be able to take it all, but I think it was kind of the excitement of like, this unknown, and so he's off doing that now. So
oh, did you think we? Oh, I feel bad. I feel like we didn't talk about fisting enough. That's why he
no,
felt so
no,
left out.
but we could do that now. I
It's the one thing
mean,
that he was really truly invested in recently.
it was. So, and I think when he listens back on this, when he's not here, he'll know that we really cared for him and understood what he enjoyed and what he loved.
I do. I really hope he takes it all in. Ah.
Uh,
All right, so so moving on to other things. I mean, this wouldn't be an episode of our podcast if I didn't spend at least a few minutes of it bitching about Facebook. So if I can just take a couple of minutes to bitch about Facebook, I'd be really, really happy.
Why? They only exposed 600 million passwords? I mean,
Yeah, I feel like, do you know
that's
how
not
like
that many.
I like Facebook has pretty much become the Donald Trump of social media, or like the Donald Trump of the tech world, I guess to say, because literally every few days something else happens and it's like, yep, Facebook did it again and they're totally gonna get away with it.
Still chugging.
They put something like 600 million user passwords into simple text for everyone. Not, well, I don't know
What
if
the
it's everyone, but let's
fuck?
say for their employees to see. And I don't know about you, but me personally, I don't exactly trust people that work at Facebook. In fact, I would
Right.
go as far to say as I trust pretty much everyone else more than I trust anyone that opts to work at Facebook. Excluding certain positions there, but in general, the last people on this earth that I want access to, like my password, are people that work at fucking Facebook.
Aren't these the same people that we were discussing a few episodes ago that like were treated like shit and horribly and clinically depressed by the company, and
So
like
he,
if they could do something to harm the company, like expose 600 million passwords in plain text?
so I'm not sure because that technically, so those people are work actually, I think, for another company that Facebook subcontracts out, I
Oh,
believe.
okay.
So I'm not sure if this meant like the people that were, but here I don't know how any of their company structure works, so I don't know. But the point is, a lot of people had access to your passwords, and I don't understand why they had to be stored in simple text, and I also don't
Yeah.
understand why they needed to have access to that information.
Right.
There's just no reason. It's just carelessness. It just shows again that this company just does not give a shit about your privacy at all.
So
Like about your
I,
information, your data, your privacy. They do not give a shit about their users in the least.
yeah, I totally agree. Hold on here. How many people
Yeah, hold on. Let me check
work
my Instagram really
for
quick. Just
Facebook? So how many employees does Facebook have in 2018? Over 25,000 people.
oh,
Now, I
thank
work
God.
for a
Only.
firm of like maybe 1,000 people, and as I said last episode, I am an application developer on like the core applications that everyone needs, and basically they say when you need access to such and such database, we will determine that and then give you access to that database. So this corporate this firm this company that's like 1/25th the size of Facebook says because of security reasons and compliance reasons and just like don't fuck shit up reasons, we're only going to give access to stuff when you need it. So the fact, and we don't have passwords stored in plain text, I know that much. Like,
Which is something you should never ever do. Ever.
duh. But like, so why this company of 25,000 people of all of this personal information and everything doesn't understand that? I don't.
Oh
I
no, they
do not
understand it.
understand it.
They just give zero fucks.
They're
They
just
keep
lazy fucks.
Yeah, that's why I keep saying all these tech companies just keep doing fucked up shit just to see what they can get away with. Because even if they get caught, right? Like even if they get fined, they're like, "Oh no, we have like a $10 million fine. Oh, wait, hold on. And we just made $10 million in the time it took me to think about
Like,
that. Good. Here you go. Take the
yeah.
money. They're literally just standing there doing, the old, like, flipping dollar bills at, like,
Yeah.
regulation agencies because they do not give a shit. Because, like,
Right.
okay, so what have we learned from these are basically like them running experiments. They're like, all right, so now we know we can get away with this and we can't get away with this. But if we can't get away with it, it only costs us this much, so that's
Right.
fine. And it's like looking
That's
at it saying
why.
it'll cost us this much to keep data secure, but it'll cost us a fraction of that to pay a fine when we get caught for not keeping data secure. So let's just pay the fine.
Right.
That's
That's
all it
why
is.
fine should be like a percentage of your profits or your income or something like that, because like a $10 million fine on a smaller company is going to bankrupt them, but Facebook or Google or Apple is going to be the equivalent of a mosquito bite. So if like you put this fine where like if you do X, Y, or Z and you're going to lose 10% of whatever your income was, or like last year or something like that, then these companies might go, oh yeah, we should secure against this or something, and not just like you said, oh wait, 5, 4, 3, 2, paid.
Right.
Sure,
Or
because the
institute some sort of policy where you have a certain amount of strikes. Oh, how
right.
many mistakes can Facebook make before somebody Facebook make how many excuse me how many mistakes can Facebook make before somebody steps in and says this is an incompetently run company, they are handling way too much of people's information at this point, they've shown time and time again that they can't handle it in a secure, professional, safe way. That's it. Like, just that's it. You're done. You are no longer allowed to operate. If you were a surgeon that killed a couple of patients, somebody would step in and say, all right, you're no longer, that's it. You lost
Yeah.
your medical license. Okay? Facebook has destabilized democracy in this fucking world. And they're like, no, that's a slap on the wrist. Like, how?
Now, Facebook, you got to stop
Yeah,
doing that. Oh, you're still doing that?
yeah.
Oh,
Typical
what,
Facebook.
removing Elizabeth Warren's post. Oh,
Oh,
that's so cute, but you got to stop that.
yeah. But you can do right, and they'll be like, "Oh, we'll stop that, but we've got plenty more lined
Yeah,
up. Don't worry."
exactly.
Uh,
Don't worry, we'll put Vladimir Putin in her place.
oh my God.
Speaking of, and I didn't, the stupid stuff. I didn't read all of
Ooh,
the
segue.
details of this, but so I was flipping through my news feed yesterday, and I see like Trump reverses the sanctions that the United States put on North Korea like the
Yep,
day after,
yep.
and
His own.
it's just a face slap. Like I don't even. I don't even want to go there. I'm just hoping that this Mueller report that was released yesterday will do something. And hey, Trump himself said send it out to the public. So
So
let's
here's the
see
thing.
it.
Yeah. So his own people, the people that he appointed, put these sanctions in place against North Korea, and this very same day, Trump went against the people, his own fucking people, and said that he's lifting those sanctions. And Sarah Huckabee Sanders walked right in front of the cameras and said he did this because he likes Kim, one of the world's worst dictators, a fucking murderer, an oppressive murderer for that matter. He's just like the president likes him, so he lifted these sanctions, and that's it. Yeah,
The president likes him because
yeah,
he's good at what he does. He murders lots of people
yeah,
efficiently.
right,
Well, he
yeah,
does a job. They
yeah,
could be Americans, they could be Koreans, North or South. He doesn't discriminate. He's not a racist. He murders everyone.
yeah. There you go. He's like the Thanos of the world. He's very
Yeah,
fair and balanced,
exactly. There
kind
you
of like
go.
Fox News. So as far as the Mueller report, I think it's going to be a while before we understand the full fallout of it. I can't. There's been so many hot takes on it. I really recommend not reading anything about it until like the dust be. Well, it's going to be a while before the dust settles. But all the hot takes, from one side they're screaming, "Oh, there's no more indictments. That means Trump and his cronies were right the whole time, and they're not getting away with it, and they're going to be able to in 2020 they're going to be screaming." yeah, see, we told you there was no Russian collusion, and Democrats made this whole thing up because they want to take over the country and blah, 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 vote Republican, we're great. And other people are saying, no, this is just the beginning, and the Mueller report was never going to be like this, the big smoking gun. And other people are saying,
The smocking
yeah,
gun?
yeah, yeah. So, it was, and then and then some people are there's just so many hot takes on this. I can't. I had to just stop reading about it because at this point it's all opinion, and until at least Congress is briefed on all this, we won't know anything. And even after they're briefed, there's going to be a fight to get the entire report released to the public. I don't know. Plus, now they're saying that the Mueller report is only one piece, and it's going to be used to bring other investigations against Trump forward. And then they're saying, other people are saying none of this matters. It's the indictments that New York has going against him. It's a fucking mess. I can't. I can't.
Right. The thing with New York going against it is that's at the state level, and that's different from the federal levels.
Right.
And the same thing with Manafort and all that, all those other players. Trump can pardon federal crimes, but not state crimes. So,
Yeah. Right.
like,
Yep.
there's stuff like that. But and also there's the whole like impeachment thing because there are Democrats saying that they don't want to go the impeachment route, and I wonder if they're like, well, right now we have like a 2-year-old at the helm, and he's playing with stuff and breaking it a little bit, but he's not causing like horrible damage, and they might be worried that if who's the
Pence.
president? Pence, yes.
I can't blame you for forgetting that he exists because
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
But he's got half a brain on his shoulders. He might be able to do real conservative damage. So they might be like, oh, let's keep him away from it because Trump just has weird mood swings and shit like that.
I agree. I think honestly, I've always said that impeaching Trump is completely pointless. It harms the cause more than anything else. Because yes, at that point, yeah, he's a bumbling idiot who hasn't been able to get anything accomplished. You don't want a semi-competent idiot in his place that actually will destroy the country.
Right.
Yeah.
So at least they understand that, and they're like, oh, we have like 1.5, 2 more years, and then we could be done with this stuff. We'll sweep it under the rug, pretend that it never happened, and hopefully we'll have like someone competent, And I have to do my homework with all of the what are we up to? 97, 98 Democrats that are running.
Everybody's running.
Like,
it's easier to name people that aren't running.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about saying I'm running just for shits and giggles. Like Beto O'Rourke made like $6 million in his first day. He jumped up on a bar table and was like, "I'm running," and people were like, "Take my fucking money," because anything's better than Trump.
I have never. Yeah, it's such a shame. I definitely, I'll admit, I pulled a complete 180 on Beto. I really liked him when he was running in Texas. I can't fucking stand him anymore. Yeah. And he has a very strong. I mean, again, yes, if he gets a primary, whatever, I'll vote for him. He's far from the worst possible option. Much better than the Hillary Clinton option back in 2016. But oh man, he's another one of those. Like, he's not good. He's not. And at this point, you know what? He walked back from support for Medicare for All. And at this point, I'm sorry. If you're not supporting Medicare for All, you're not getting my vote. Like, you're just not.
Yeah. No, it's...
Although he's backing...
How much of it... Go on.
He's backing Medicare for America, which is a different plan. And it's not the worst thing. It's really, really not. But no. Like, I'm tired of these compromises. I know I was very, way overly optimistic when Obama was talking about providing universal health care back when he was running, and that was one of the reasons that I voted for him originally. And, when the ACA passed, yes, the ACA was a huge step forward, and it improved a lot of things.
Wait, right now, our listener may or may not be saying, whoa, ACA, I've never heard of that before.
Oh,
You're
I'm
not
sorry,
calling it by
Obamacare.
its true name.
I'm
There you
sorry,
go.
Obamacare. Yes, Obamacare, and it's fine. You can call it Obamacare because he's owned it and for all its benefits and faults. But it definitely look. It was an improvement. It was a good thing, but it was so not what I voted for. And so that's another thing. Like now they're talking about this whole Medicare for America thing, which isn't exactly single payer healthcare. I'm done with compromises. Like
So, okay, let me play devil's advocate here. And what if, and I'm not saying that he is or isn't, I'm just saying, what if nothing, absolutely nothing that Trump has said has been the truth? Except for, I'm going to
that's not the devil's advocate.
build a
That's actually
wall.
what's happening.
You know, so like he wants to build the wall and he's trying so hard to build the wall or whatnot. So no, let's play devil's advocate here and let's say that like Beto is saying, oh, with this, just with everything that's going on, let me play instead of to all the way to the left or whatnot, let me like go towards the middle a little bit
Well, that's
and
what he
say,
is. He is. That's not devil's advocate. He. That's the thing. He's sort of moving towards the center more and more every day, which is upsetting.
right. What if that's planned? What if that's marketing? What if that's not exactly how he will act if he's in office? Because you know what? If everything that the president says on a daily basis is a fucking lie, if he gets into office and then says, you know what, I want to do X, Y, or Z, and like 20 or 50% of what he says is a lie compared to what he campaigned for, we'd be like, oh, that's significantly better. Like what if that's like, if I could get it's a little bit Machiavellian, like if I will do whatever I can to get the most votes to get into the door, and then once I do that, I can do so much good for the world. It's like it seems like every movie nowadays is like I'm watching like it's like what is it, the Marvel Endgame movie, Infinity War, and like I'm watching what is it, The Order, which is okay, one of the Netflix shows, but they bring up ethics in it, and like it's kind of like how many people, like what can you sacrifice that's good, that makes it, like sacrifices now that are seem to be bad that are better in the end. So like I will lie now, but to get into office, but once I get into office, I can do such good things. I will say it's Medicare for so and so and so and so and Americans only, or we're going to curtail, or we're going to look at immigration and everything. And once you get into office, you're like, fuck you, human rights, people are people. Just because you live in another country or you speak another language doesn't mean that you're any less of a human being. But they have to make sure that they get into office first to do that.
So you're asking me.
Does it,
So I okay. So I totally understand now why you approach this with the devil's advocate thing. So you're asking basically, okay, here are the two barriers you're facing. One, you're expecting anyone to believe that any politician would say one thing and then do better when they're in office. I think that has
well,
happened
I've been
exactly
drinking tequila
zero
for
times.
2 hours. I've been
Yeah.
drinking tequila straight for 2 hours. So give me a
Right.
little break there.
Yeah, the notion that's like you pulling up to a gas station, paying for 87 octane gas, and then the gas station going, you know what? We're gonna give you 95 because you're a good guy. Like that's not gonna happen. No politician is gonna say I got elected based on this platform, but you know what? Good news, those other people. I'm gonna do you one better. That's a big leap of faith. That's bigger than the whole Santa thing. The second problem with that is that don't forget they have to kind of get all the shit approved. So that means running through Congress and the Senate. I'm sorry, through the House of Representatives and the Senate, and that means dealing with fucking political dinosaurs like Pelosi and Schumer. And what they're going to come back and say, you're going against the promises that you made that got you elected, which means that you're hurting the quote unquote brand of our Democratic Party. And that means that in the upcoming midterms or then, the other presidential elections, you're not going to be pissing off the people who voted for you because they now can't trust you and you're just lining up another Trump to get into office. So they're going to basically cockblock anything he tries to do.
And what if he like jumped up on the desk like he does on the bars and like bitch slapped him and was like, "Fuck you, I'm president now."
See, I can see Bernie doing that, but I can't see Beto doing that. Beto is not the nah.
See, I think Bernie
He's
would
not
need
it.
like a little step ladder to get up there. He
You
couldn't
know-
jump up there.
You know what? You'd think that, but dude, he's in his 70s, and that man is.
He's a spry 70.
Yeah, knock on wood. That man is in better shape than I am.
Yeah, but
I mean, in every sense of that word. Like, he really is. Like, I read about some of the things that they have to go through on the campaign trail. I couldn't fucking do it. I seriously, I could not do it. I have no idea how a 73-year-old man does what Bernie Sanders does.
is he 73 now?
He might
Or
be.
71?
I don't know.
know.
It might be.
I mean-
I know. It might be 173. I don't know. But the point is, he's spry, man. He's got the energy of
I
like a
walk
20-year-old.
3 miles every day uphill.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I like at this point, if they told me that if he drinks the blood of orphans every night to stay in that kind of shape, I'd be like, yeah, I believe that because there's no rational explanation. Because I mean, what else can there be? What, he takes vitamins? Bullshit.
Speaking about drinking the blood of something, total segue here. Dude, did you?
Would you like me to mute the mic? Would you like me
No.
to stop recording?
So last night was game night at my daughter's school, and
Oh god, this is worse than the Randy Quaid shit. Okay, go ahead.
No bad touches.
No, just bleeding. Go ahead.
So she was like, they were doing like board game stuff and they were doing like D&D. So she's like, oh, can you sign me up for D&D? So I was like, yeah, sure. And so I signed her up for D&D, and like we're in this, like this cafeteria like place, and she's on the exact other side of the room. So like I'm here, she's like over here, this is the cafeteria or whatnot, as far as away possible as I could be. And I could hear her and her friends, they're playing D&D, like 10, 11-year-old kids, and all I hear is like screams of like blood and death and murder, and then like one of her friends comes over and he's like, oh yeah, and she ate the heart of the spider that she killed, and like this and like that, and like then her friend comes over and her friend is like, DD is the best game ever, and like blood, guts, blood, murder, blood, guts, and like violence, and like runs back, and I'm like, well, that's good. At least it's not like they're having sex with like harpies or something. But
did you ever see the movie Battle Royale, the original one? The movie Battle Royale.
Don't think so.
Okay, well, first of all, you should see it. It's an incredible. It really is an incredible movie. The whole movie starts out as one of the best creepy opening scenes. Do you know the premise of Battle Royale?
Well, no, I've never seen it. I've never heard of it before.
Okay. Battle Royale.
Not.
It is either I don't remember if it's a Chinese or a Japanese movie, but it's the one that a lot of people say that Hunger Games ripped it off, and the reason for that is because it's amazing. You absolutely have to see it again. It's one of those classic films that everyone should see. The premise is that there are so many, I think, people. It's a form of population control. So what they do is they take students. Mm-hmm. And they whisk them off to this island, and they drop a bunch of students on an island. They give them weapons, and it's a battle royale. There's one survivor. In the end, they fight to the death, and one person like leaves the island. It's what the entire battle royale genre is based on.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's called battle royale. So what you just described reminds me of one of the opening scenes where and they televise the whole thing. So they're showing the movie starts out with them, showing the end of the one of the seasons of battle royale. And it's this like little girl that's walking out of the woods, and she's just like covered head to toe in blood, like holding like a knife or like a crossbow or something. I don't forget. It's just like just like with this really creepy smile on her face, and I just picture like your kids just like walking towards you at the end of this, like
Oh yeah, I
around,
could totally.
like holding the heads of their enemies in her hand, and
I'd
like
be like, I'm so
like a
proud
butter.
of you.
Yeah, he's be like, you're getting ice cream after this. Like, oh,
It's
that's great.
it's funny because I was sitting with one of the mothers, there, one of the mothers of her friend who was
Yeah.
also one of the kids that came over and was like, blood, 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 guts, yay! And I said when my daughter was 5 years old, she was going through 4 or 5 years old. She was going through a zombie phase to the point where like we went and saw World War Z in the movie. She and I had watched, what was it, Resident Evil. She was totally in, yeah, good parenting. My wife
Oh,
was,
no. You
you let
understand?
her watch a rated R movie. I'm like,
No,
it was rated R for violence and it was against zombies, not humans, so it's okay.
no, you guys are parents of the decade. When and if I ever have children, I want you need to write a children's book, and I want to buy it because I would like to model my parenting after whatever you guys did with your kids. Because holy crap, those children are amazing.
So when she was 5 years old, and I think you've seen these pictures, she wanted to be a zombie. So we made her like total up real zombie, scar, blood, stuff like that. I took this little Cupid doll that she had when she was a baby, and like I cut a leg off and I put blood on it. And my wife came home and she was like, "Oh, absolutely not. This is unacceptable." And she totally bisected the thing, caved in its head, put total blood, cut off an arm, and like my daughter, who's 5 years old at the time, is walking around holding this thing, acting as if she's going to eat it. And I have a picture of her and her two best friends. One of her best friends is a Power Ranger, and one is like a mermaid, the Little Mermaid. And my daughter's this zombie, and she's like, eating this fucking doll. And like you see the girl who's a Little Mermaid, she looks so worried. She's like, what the fuck is going on here? We went to this amusement park for kids. It was Sesame Place. It was like a Sesame Street themed amusement park, and they had like a Halloween day for all the kids, and she went as a zombie and everything. And it's cute because I have a picture of her mock eating my guts in the parking lot and everything, the stuff that zombies do. And she was so proud. Like one of her most proudest moments in life is the fact that a little 4-year-old kid looked at her and started to cry out of fear. And she, like, to this day, she will beam with pride when she talks about that.
See, that's great
But,
because it's one thing when an adult traumatizes a child, but when a child traumatizes another child,
Yes.
yeah, that someone's earned themselves a gold star.
Exactly. But yes, good parenting.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, and you get your, your Dad of the Year coffee mug.
Totally brought me back to it, and with them in their little D&D session.
Well, that's
But
why
at least
we've
they're
always
not.
said. That's why we've always said, if God forbid anything ever happens to you, and your wife, we will gladly raise your children in your
Yes.
memory because they are
Yes.
awesome. Yes.
You
No one
are
else's kids. I will not take over anybody else's children. I have absolutely no interest in their shitty kids. But your kids, I will happily raise, and I will expose them to all the horrible things you've exposed them over the years to make sure that they keep growing strong and make me proud.
Did I tell you about the math lesson we had with my daughter like a year ago?
No, but this sounds less interesting unless she stabs somebody in the face with a protractor.
Well, no, it's not that bad. So, like last summer, every summer we usually go on a big family vacation. And last summer we were going to rent a houseboat and, drive it around a lake and have good family fun. So my daughter comes in, my 10-year-old daughter, and she says, "Hey, mommy," because we were talking about what groceries we're going to buy for the boat. And she goes, "Hey, mommy, I want s'mores, and I want a shit ton of chocolate and a shit ton of marshmallows." And my wife says, "No, no, 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 no. I will not accept that. You can only have a shit ton of one thing. You can have a buttload of anything else, but only one shit ton. So my daughter thinks about it and she goes, okay. I want a buttload of graham crackers and I want a buttload of marshmallows, but I want a shit ton of chocolate. And my wife goes, okay, that's acceptable. And she says, dear daughter, what's 2 buttloads and a shit ton? And my daughter like seriously thinks about it, and like in my own mind I did the math and I said, if my kid comes out with this answer, I will love and respect her for the rest of my life. And she goes,
Wait, you're
my
supposed
daughter,
to love and respect your child for the rest of their life, no matter what.
well, no, it's conditional. People say it's unconditional, but in honesty it's conditional. But anyway, so my daughter thinks about it real hard, real seriously, and she goes, 2 buttloads and a shit ton. Is that a fuck ton? And we were like, yeah, you're right.
Oh my god.
But yes, so that's the kid you're going to inherit when we both die horribly in a car accident.
I cannot wait to hear her valedictorian speech. It's gonna be the most inspirational, like, fucking thing I've ever heard. Like, people are gonna walk out of there and just like everyone is gonna be like a multi-millionaire by the time they get out into the workforce. Like, they're gonna be telling stories like, yeah, I don't know where my life was heading, but then this girl gave the speech at my graduation, and oh my god, I saw God. And I just knew what my purpose in the world was. It was amazing. That's it. And that's how and that's how I cured cancer.
There was no bullshit. No more bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit just went away.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna go, I was gonna be like a computer programmer, but instead I solved the energy crisis like overnight because she opened my eyes up to the truth.
Good parent.
Kids. Okay, so by the way, I applaud you for moving us away from politics. Thank you, because that was getting just progressively depressing as we kept talking about it. I was gonna bring up, while we're getting into entertainment and games in general, I was gonna ask Kevin about Satisfactory, but he left. I don't know if you spent any time playing it.
I played Satisfactory like 4 months ago. Jesus Christ, it was probably before I moved, October.
Wait, wasn't Satisfactory? Wait, didn't Satisfactory just come out in a trial beta? I'm so confused. I can't tell.
But I had special access to like I was one of the first people to get an alpha key to it. That was
wait. I want you to look me in the eyes and tell me the truth. All right. Did you pre-order it?
No, I did not pre-order it, but
okay,
I
thank
did
God.
have access to the first alpha when they were like, please don't talk about this, send pictures of it or anything. This was when it was still under NDA.
Oh, well, thank you for sending me pictures of it. So I have a question. I was reading some of the reviews about Satisfactory because, so when I read the general outline or synopsis of the game, it actually sounded pretty interesting. And then I watched some videos on YouTube of people playing it, and they kind of lost me. The reason I say is because, so I like the fact that you get to build these factories and you have to make them more efficient, and you have to gather resources and all that stuff. That is pretty interesting. But one of the things they said is that there was supposedly a competitive aspect to it where you get to actually battle other players. There's like this combat thing.
Then that's
a combat
new.
angle to it. Right.
There's combat against the creatures in the world, but if they added combat against other people, I'm not aware of that.
Okay, maybe I misread that. Maybe it was combat against other creatures, but I could have sworn there was a combat mechanic. But the thing is, like, when I watched people playing it and people reviewing the game, there was zero mention of that. They were all talking about like building these factories and optimizing them and making it more efficient. But the survival aspect was completely missing from every single gameplay review I watched. So is that a thing in the game or not?
I don't know. When I played, and I just haven't had the time to play it in like several months, and like also when I played it, it was like this initial portion of the game. It wasn't the whole thing, so, and only a limited tech aspect. So I played it for a few days, got to that point, and was like, okay, there's nothing I can really do with the game right now. That was really cool. It was fun. I look forward to playing it more when more comes out. And I think when more came out was when I was like in the process of moving, and then I was in the process of setting up a house, unpacking it, and then looking for a job. So I really haven't had a chance to play with it since then. So I haven't played the game since the state that it was in like 4 or 5 months ago. So there could have been significant changes by that time. But at the time, the survival instinct, the survival aspect of it was similar to Minecraft, where there are creatures in the world that want to eat your face and you have to survive against them. I do not know of any PvP aspect to the game. It was only PvE. So
Okay,
I
yeah, I
don't,
might have imagined the PvP thing. Maybe that doesn't exist in the game.
yeah.
So the entire thing is that you gather resources, you build factories that create more resources, and then use the resources to build better factories. Is that pretty much the entire premise of the game?
That is exactly it. It's the same as Factorio. It's the same as Fortress Craft Evolved. It's effectively the same as Minecraft. You mine shit, build things, and, mine more shit, build more stuff, or get more tech. You can mine the harder stuff, and you progress to that. And it's the same thing, but I find it to be a fun game. I enjoy those games. I enjoy like the idle games. Part of the appeal to games like that to me is I could stuff like Anthem and the Xbox. I feel like the only time I'm going to play that is when you're like, "Hey, let's play this."
Oh, you mean like after
It's
this
not.
podcast?
Yes, exactly. I'm not gonna, be like, "Oh, I'm gonna play Anthem for 4 hours or 8 hours or 12 hours," like
Oh,
Kevin.
you're gonna
You
play it for
know,
12 hours. Oh, I'm
no,
gonna make you
not
stay on and play for 12 hours.
not like Kevin. The stuff like Factorio, Fortress Craft, Satisfactory, any like idle clicker kind of game thing is when you have a job and kids and family and stuff and you want to play a game and feel like you're progressing, you can play these games for 10, 15, 20 minutes, set up an infrastructure, and let it run in the background, and you come back and you feel like there's been some kind of progression. Like I've created these resources. Now I have all this stuff built up, and I can go and like I'm going to build X, Y, and Z real fast, and while to get to this next level, it will take a while, but I can kind of let this factory that I created in the background, this machine, this engine, so to speak, continue and produce resources. And then I can come back later and optimize it a little bit, upgrade it a little bit, and I feel like there's progression when I'm not there, and I feel like there's progression when I am there. So
Hey, you know
there.
what game you'd really enjoy?
Oh
Fallout
God,
76.
yeah.
Said no one ever.
So that's my take on it. So I
Okay.
don't know if other people agree with that. I think that they do because of the popularity of these kind of games, but
I'm still curious. Do you remember a game called World Adrift?
no.
Okay, so this is a game that I tried to get you and Kevin into because I remember when the alpha, I don't remember if it was the alpha or the beta came out, and I remember in all my excitement, I sent you guys this link, and I was like, dude, you guys got to check this out. This game sounds amazing. It's exactly what you like. Download it immediately. We're gonna play this together. We're gonna have so much fun. Oh my God, it's the best game ever. And you guys like took 5 minutes looking at it and said, yeah, this is boring. Yeah, this is not at all what I want to do. Yeah, this game sucks. Don't bother me again. Just lose my number. Who is this prank caller?
Oh
Um,
no, I kind of
I was like,
remember this, and I think it did
so
look neat, but well, I don't know. There was
Worlds
something.
Adrift is literally like it's when you control a character and you gather resources and you build these like amazing like spacecraft
Right.
like ships, sailboat ships. I don't know how else to explain it. But and then you explore and you battle and you do those other things. I haven't played it since the initial like alpha or beta, whatever the hell it was, but you might want to take a look at it. They've done a lot of work on it. It's a pretty and pretty. It's a pretty amazing game. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks kind
For
of
what it
neat.
look
They
for what it
have
looks
like
like. Yeah.
cool tech trees and
Yes.
stuff. I'm just looking at the website now, and like, yeah, this is totally something that I would definitely check out.
And it's
Kind
definitely
of
a team. It's a team game. You really not supposed to play by yourself. You're supposed to like get your friends together and you guys build this thing together, and then you go and explore and
okay.
do shit. So
That's kind of where you lose me
maybe that was it.
because if it's hard enough to do this podcast with with the three of us, as evidenced by the fact that there's only two of us here right now.
It
So
it
like
is it is like herding cats. You're right.
trying
It's
to get like if I can only play a game when I'm playing with my friends, when we all three of us have time, then yeah, I'm never going to really progress on it. Judging, evidenced by the fact that I've done one mission on Anthem.
Oh,
So
we'll change it today. Don't worry.
yeah,
We won't stop until you finish the game tonight.
that's fine. But yeah,
Spoiler,
no,
the
it
final
it
battle is
looks
kind of a letdown. I'm just kidding.
yeah, I'm sure. I can't get into multiplayer only games because of that reason. I like to be able to pick up a game for like 5 or 10 minutes whenever and play it. Then if I'm taking a shit and I could progress for 5 minutes in a game, I want to be able to do that. Like today, I was trying to clean the house and it took me, what should have taken me 20 minutes, took me 40 minutes because I got a Daddy, can you help me with this problem? And I would help my daughter with some math equation, come back, put three dishes away. Daddy? So sitting down, playing a mission for 45 minutes or whatnot does not really fit into my lifestyle. And again, I think that's why like these kind of idle games, these clicker games, these incremental games where you can go and like click 7 buttons, feel like you've made it's all just a number that gets bigger. There's no real, you're not actually saving the world here or anything, but like it's that little minute progression that you could do in 2 minute, 10 minute, or 30-second chunks that makes you feel somewhat invested in the game.
Yeah,
Uh,
somebody who's not a parent, I definitely can't relate to what you're saying, but I definitely understand it. And I think that would make for an awesome sub-segment to this podcast where you and Kevin can introduce certain games, movies, distractions that work well for, you know, um, what do I call those people? Saps that had children. Whereas,
right.
the rest of us are happy and enjoy life and explore the world. And, I love the fact that in the morning I wake up and go, hey, do I have to take care of the kid? No, no, I totally pulled out. So the thing is, like, you guys can discuss those things that are more. I definitely understand that because we have that to a much smaller extent. Like sometimes I'll be playing a game and like even with something like Anthem, and I'll start a stronghold, and then my wife will walk into the room and say, "Hey, you know what? I just worked really hard to make this this really amazing meal for us. Can you put the
Time for you
game
to go
down?
down on me?
Yeah, can you
What?
put the game down?" And like I am such an asshole because I look at her with this look in my face and go, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I I have a team of these unknown people I've never even heard of, and we're like about to get some fucking elite loot, and you want me to put this remote down so I can eat this meal you spent 4 hours making? How fucking dare you? Like, what is wrong with you? In the moment, it makes sense, but like 10 minutes later, when she's divorcing me, I'm like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense. I'm a complete fucking asshole. So
Well,
I'm assuming with children that's even more exacerbated because you actually have more responsibility and you can be pulled away at any point. So yes, I definitely get that anything that involves multiplayer commitments or commitments to with your friends, that kind of stuff really can't be taken into consideration. You have way too much responsibility and way too many things you have to do in the course of any given day.
well, it's more exacerbated, but on a much grander scale. Like you said, you're playing for 30 minutes or so, and then your wife is like, come here, you have to eat dinner for the next 20 minutes or so and pay attention to me and acknowledge that I exist. The thing with kids is you put this great effort in for 18, 20 years or whatnot, and you hope that you're going to get this return on investment. So, when I'm like 80 years old and incontinent and I can't, take care of myself and I'm, shitting myself and I need someone to take care of me, I will have this child that hopefully has like taken control of the country or is a doctor or making, 7 or 8 figures a year and will be able to take care of me or at least put me in a nice home, while you without children will be like shitting yourself and like walking around with a peg leg out in an alley somewhere going, fuck, I should have had kids that could take care of me right now.
Yeah, but yeah. Oh man, I am gonna die alone. Oh, that's cool. That's fine.
Honey, I hope you're feeling in the mood tonight.
Yeah, or our children, or yeah, which is why you have to be very careful how you raise your kids, because they could sort of that thing could hold backfire. They could end up like me, where they could be like, "Oh, honey, Daddy's having an aneurysm," and she's like, "Yeah, but you know what? This is like masterwork loot that I'm gathering right now. So sorry, man. I would love to save your life, but if I don't finish this mission, I'm not gonna get the cool digital hat for my character. So, oh, you're gonna have to die. Sorry." So yeah,
I
okay,
think
that makes sense.
medical technology will be able to bring you back, Dad. It's okay.
Yeah, okay. All right. So last thing I just want to touch on before we wrap up, because
Well, we're wrapping up. This is so much fun.
yeah, I know, but at some
Do
point,
like the
think
second
of the
half of this episode and like another of our just like Jerry and Skippy episode.
no, but think
Like
about
a
it this
little
way.
interim.
Think of the person that has to edit this later. For the love of God, think of the editors.
No, it's just a stream of consciousness. Nothing has to be edited. As long as we don't
No,
flood anything, we're good.
yeah, I don't waste hours of my life on this. So I just want to touch on one thing real quick. Did you watch the Google Stadia presentation by any chance?
I started to, but I Kevin'd it.
Oh, fucking A. Oh, so you
Sorry.
loved it. That's great. Wait, did you Kevin it as you fell asleep, or did you stick a
Yes.
fist up your ass halfway into it? At this point, you have to clarify.
See, all of the above. I was like, wow, this is really cool. I'm getting excited. I think I kind of want to fist up my asshole. And I did that. And then I was like, but I'm sitting in my recliner and I have a quilt on me, so I'm nice and warm and comfy. So I fell asleep with
All
the
right,
fist
so
up my
okay, so Stadia is pretty interesting. Although I have to say, as usual, Google's branding is just terrible. Like Stadia, that's the best name they could come up with. Because you know what? They used all the good names or all the relevant names before. So, like for example, they could have possibly named this Google Play, but they can't because they used Google Play to, for some reason, name their app store. And then you think, okay, maybe they could have named this Google Games, which isn't the most creative thing, but okay, it kind of makes sense. But no, you can't because they use Google Games for a title of some game apps like progression reward service thing that they made up to that like plugs into existing mobile games that nobody fucking uses or nobody gives a shit about. So that name is wasted. So they came up with Stadia. And
Well,
I'm sorry,
maybe it's a
Stadia.
play
No,
on
but
Stadium because it has like
I
a
know,
streaming aspect and
but I know it's a plural of Stadia, but it sounds like something you should go see your doctor about if your erection lasts longer than
that's
4 hours. Like it's such a terrible
Doctor.
name. It's a
I
bad
took
like
28 Viagra and now
yeah
look at this. And he's like, oh, you have Google Stadia.
yeah
Oh no! Oh
like
no!
yeah like the side effect of Google Stadia is definitely diarrhea. And the thing is like they so like no thought went into this at all. What like this is another. Okay, I think that Google Stadia is going to do well, and it's a really ambitious product, and it's really cool. But as with most things, I think recently that Google has put out, I remember watching the presentation and going, at every point I was like, that's amazing, that's incredible, that's awesome. And then as soon as it was done, I actually like thought about it and said, this is nothing I would ever fucking pay money for. It's great if you're a regular gamer, if you play games on a regular basis, and I mean like daily, and you play a lot of games, this could be really great. If you're a creator, this is a must-have. It's awesome with all the tools that they plug into for creators, as far as like letting you easily stream to YouTube and sharing clips and letting people jump into your games and view their games and interact with you as you're streaming. That stuff is awesome. I also love the feature of the fact that I feel like you're playing a game and you're struggling with a certain like part of the game, like a boss or a puzzle. You can like press the assistant button on your remote and say, "How do I like beat this?" And it like shows you a YouTube video. Yeah, like it's
cool.
there's a lot of things like really plugged into it. Yeah, they say like, oh, you don't need any additional hardware, like it works on whatever you have. But at the same time, if you want to play it on your TV, you need the newest Chromecast, and you kind of need the new remote. So there's definitely some investment there that you're gonna have to get everything out of it. Although, I mean, technically speaking, you could just play it on your phone or your Chromebook or your existing laptop. But still, it's really great. But it's just I can't imagine paying a monthly fee for something like this. And that's just me. If you're a heavy gamer, yeah, this is awesome. If you're a creator, if you're a streamer, this is awesome. For somebody like me, nah, I am not even remotely interested in it.
I'd
Keep in
have
mind,
to
and
see.
keep in mind, it's not like on day one every game ever is going to be accessible on this. It's not like you have the entire Steam catalog or the entire
Right.
Epic Games catalog. We don't even know what games are going to be available. Right now, they announced literally one game. The next
Right.
Doom game is going to be on this thing.
Yeah.
Beyond that, we don't know anything. We don't know what the lag is going to be like, what the game catalog is going to be like. We don't know what the
Right.
cost is going to be like. It's a lot of
Yeah,
variables.
that's highly subjective. Now, if I could, judging from my life now, if I can do something like if I'm playing a game, okay, I'm at home, I'm on my desktop in my office, I have my sound and everything like is turned up and I could play the game like it's supposed to be and it's awesome. And then you know what? I go downstairs to be with the family and I'm sitting in my chair and like my wife and my daughter are watching fucking veterinarian shows, which they do, and I could sit there and play my game on my
Whoa,
cheap
this
$200
raises
laptop.
this raises a lot more questions, but we'll save that for episode 8.
Yeah,
Go
no, we're
ahead.
talking about Dr. Pole with his arm 3/4 of the up the way of up a cow's ass. They love that shit. But anyway,
Oh my
if
God, it's
they
Kevin the
could
cow. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
watch, Dr. Pole putting his arm up a cow's ass, and I'm playing my games on my laptop, which I kind of do because right now I use Steam streaming to stream from my gaming desktop to my podunk laptop, which has like 4 gig of RAM but can just do the stream fine, which is great. That would be amazing. And if I could do that, and then as I walk to work every day, play this, an awesome game and do it on my phone, and play a game when I'm walking to work or whatnot, stuff like that would be cool. And if it's a relatively decent price, like 10 or 15 bucks a month, I might consider that.
Well, but that raises another question. How
It depends on the
based on the things
catalog. It depends on
it
the
depends on how much
availability.
time but it also depends on how much time you want to invest in actual gaming. Like for
Oh,
me,
so you're bringing in the Kevin scale right
well, no,
now.
no, no, no. Yeah,
Yes, you are.
which we have to
Yes,
refine.
you are.
But no, what I'm saying is, for example, okay, so there are times when I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, what am I gonna do today? And I think of
Do
like,
I
okay,
jerk off or do I play a game?
right, and that's pretty much the only
Or do
decision
I
I
jerk
ever
off
have to make.
while playing a game?
Oh God, yeah, yeah. Google, if you could solve that with Stadia, that'd be great.
It has the Fleshlight API. So
uh, oh.
go on before
So,
this gets any.
so I think we're there. No, I mean, as far as like going, I'm not, and this isn't like I'm not criticizing people that play games in any sort of, but in some cases, like I'll go, okay, I don't really feel like going downstairs and like doing all this thing, or I don't feel like turning on my laptop and playing this game that I can only play on my laptop. So I'm actually gonna do something productive or something healthy or whatever. In some ways, I'm looking at this and going, if gaming becomes so easily where I can do it every moment of the day, do I really want that? Because the temptation to
Yeah,
do
that's a
it
good point.
is going to increase. So I really don't want to spend my entire day staring at a screen. And again, and if you do, that's fine. That's your decision, and you should be able to do that. Which is why, again, I'm saying this is a really cool product. I just don't think it's for me. Like, I kind of want to get. I almost want to have an excuse where I'm like, I don't feel
No,
like.
that's a good
I don't feel
point.
like turning the console on. I just want to go do something else.
Right.
But if it's
Yeah.
but if it's so readily available, I'm like, I might be too tempted.
No, that's a good point because when you could just pick up a game for 30 seconds, 2 minutes, and be like, oh, it's kind of like instead of reading this article for 5 minutes, I could continue playing this game for 5 minutes. And you're right. It's to some point, Love, Death, and Robots, it is kind of like that too. It's like, here you go. Here's content in like 15-minute chunks. It's like what YouTube is. It's short, quick bits of content that you could consume in 5, 10, 15 minutes, and that becomes easy and quick, and that's what you default to instead of something else. We were talking about
Right.
this. There's a place close by where it's like kind of a society of creative anachronisms kind of thing, where it's like the village is as life was in the 1800s and everything. And there are kids going around, and like if you send your kid to camp there, they play with hoops and sticks
Okay,
during
well
the
that
day.
okay, well that's
And they
terrible.
make,
I don't want to go back to that.
yeah, well, they make a doll out of like some fuzz and a piece of cloth and string, and you draw a face on it, and that's your doll, and that's your entertainment for the day. And you have to use things like, oh shit, what's that word? It's what we used to use as kids before there were screens feeding everything to imagination. That's it.
Ew, imagination.
So
Ugh,
you have to use your imagination and creativity and everything.
that's a
And
four-letter
it
word
goes
with a lot more
back.
with a lot more letters in it.
Yeah, no, it goes back to why I turned my daughter onto shit like comics and got her into comics, which is why she loves Alita and Captain Marvel. Like she's been waiting for Captain Marvel for like 2 years because she's been reading the comics for that long. That's why I turned my daughter onto D&D. Year and a half, 2 years ago, one of her friends at school, one of her friends' fathers, ran a D&D campaign for a bunch of like fourth and fifth and sixth grade kids, and I was like, that's amazing. Like that's the best thing I could ever imagine for my kid because they're going to have to pick up a book. They're going to have to use their imagination. They're going to have to think about something that they normally wouldn't think about, and it's just brings out, they're not in front of a screen, and they're using imagination and thinking and problem solving and stuff like that. And my
Dude, I,
daughter,
I already said I'm buying your parenting book. All right, I
I
got
know.
it. You sold me. I already, Jesus Christ. Do I have to pre-order the fucking thing before you leave me alone about it? All right. Yes, you're a good parent, and I'm not one. God.
No, but like what I'm saying is like that's the kind of it's good for them. I mean, like I grew up
Yes,
on that
absolutely.
shit and I learned, and read so much from that. And yeah, it's hard for parents nowadays because you have to fight the glowing rectangle and it's ubiquitous. It's the TV, it's the phone, it's the laptop and it's the fucking Google Home screen that you have in your kitchen.
Yeah,
And
which is
like,
why I am going, like as I said, I reference this for a reason. When I
yeah.
have kids, I am going to do the mature and responsible thing, and I'm going to drop them on an island with weapons, and I'm going to let them instead spend their childhood fighting to the death. And when the winner emerges, then they can get some TV time.
And
Okay?
I would be buying your parenting book.
Right.
So,
And I
yeah,
will, and if you visit me in prison, I will sign it for you.
no,
Absolutely.
fucking I will become president just so I could pardon you
Thank you.
when my daughter does shit like doesn't do her homework. Thank God I have Google Home And if I get that email from the teacher at work, I will be like, okay. And I press the pause button. And like 10 minutes later, I get a call from my daughter crying, saying, how do I reboot the router because the internet's not working? It's like, the internet's not working because you didn't do your homework, dear. And she's like, oh, fuck. In some ways, I envy you without having, any kids. But I'm sure once I'm old and gray and I need someone to put me in a nice home instead of me digging garbage out of some garbage can on the street, I'll be thankful that I have kids.
Nice, and I think that's a very good way to summarize our feeling on Google Stadia. Digging through
Is that how we
garbage.
got onto this?
That's right.
Wow.
All right. So I think at this point we can wrap up here because I don't know how we got here, but I'm glad we did. So
I think it's the tequila. I think that's how we got here.
yeah, that's just pretty much true. But I did realize that I have drank almost the entire bottle of that shitty wine. Yeah,
If I said that about the tequila, I'd probably be dead, especially
yeah,
since it's
yeah.
7.5 liter.
Yes, whereas I may be sending more sexy photos, you definitely would be lying in a chalk outline at this point. So let's wrap up here. And there's a few more topics that we want to touch on, but as usual, we can leave that for episode 8. It's weird. I thought we had a third person on this podcast. I don't
think
know.
you're just imagining things. I don't remember a third person.
No, I feel like this was always a two-person podcast, and I imagined a voice in my head.
No.
I
I
don't
can put you back the very first episode, and I guarantee you it's only 2 people.
That is a good point. I should definitely not listen to any more episodes. I should only listen to the first one and assume that that is the way it has always been. Good, I'm going to go do that. So we are going to wrap up episode 7 here, and God willing, we may have an episode 8. We'll see. Our doctors may advise against it at this point.
I have a feeling we're definitely going to have an episode 8, and it might be special.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. I'm not going to ask any more questions. I'm going to wait till episode 8 for this reveal.
Go. I know Kevin won't listen to the preview of this before it goes live, and he probably won't listen to it once it goes live. So
yeah, and also I don't even know what a Kevin is. So just a really quick, if you do want to, if anybody ever hears this and you do want to reach us, again, I can be found on Twitter at Cynical Skippy. You can find Jerry at Jerry Yells. I think there's an at Kevin Yells.
Yes, and please do that if you're out there and listening. Please don't think that anyone else is going to do it. If you're listening out there and you're not the 3 of us, just send us a, hey, I've listened to you, and like maybe give us a thumbs up and a thumbs down and let us know how we're doing, because we have no proof that there's anyone else out there.
Yeah, that sounds incredibly desperate. So let me add to that. There's also an email, which is oldmanyellatpodcast@gmail.com. So yeah, I would love to. At this point, honestly, yeah, if anybody wants to tell us how much we suck, that'd be great too. But if not, good. Keep on trucking, and we'll see you guys in episode 8. Oh, you know what? Wait.
Oh,
No, I'm gonna stop right there.
Outro. Sorry.
I broke my rule. Every episode has to end with a closing thought. And I'd like to hear your closing thought.
No, why don't you go first while I think of a closing thought?
Because if I had one, I wouldn't have asked you to make one.
Oh, okay. So, my closing thought is, kids kind of suck while they're growing up, and you kind of want to euthanize them, especially during the teenage years. But you put forth that effort. So when you're like 70 or 80 years old, you have someone to support you when you're old and decrepit.
Okay,
Cheers.
that's good. Good. That's a great good. I would like to close this episode on saying that Jerry was very, very brave in some of the things that he shared with us today. So if anybody would like to contact us and join his class action lawsuit against Randy Quaid, once again, we listed our email and our Twitter handle, so please reach out. And let's bring this monster down together, okay? Great. We'll see you guys in episode 8.